Oh, boy. I am not prepared for this day. I have to get prepared for this day. Is there coffee in there? I think there might be coffee in there. I think I might need to go get myself a big fucking coffee. Let's do that here at the beginning. Let's get a coffee. I need a fucking coffee. Get out there, boy. What the fuck is your problem? Ooh, hello. Oh my god, it's so fucking good. How am I feeling? Better now that I got a cup of coffee. I'm a little fucked up. I went swimming the other day and fucking got water in both of my ears. My ears are really prone to infection, but I love swimming. And it's been like a couple years since I swam a lot. And I went swimming the other day and just fucked up my ears. So it's great. A repeat do other than that though, we good. Feeling pretty good. It's gonna be hot today. Hotter than yesterday, which sucks. What's it gonna be today? Do I even want to fucking know? I guess I'll look. Guess I will look. It's gonna be 98 degrees. 98 degrees. It's only 81 right now. That's not too bad. Could be worse. In the ocean, huh? What? What ocean, bud? You think I'm near an ocean? I mean, I guess I'm near an ocean, but not near enough to be at the ocean. What are the impacts of diverse cultures in a society? Well, that depends on how the cultures interact and what the overarching society values, right? So if the society values respecting other people's beliefs, then the diverse cultural traditions that take root in that country are going to naturally, generationally be that, right? They're going to reflect that overarching national belief. If there is this just kind of theory of like throwing everything in together and homogenizing it, that can cause conflict, right? There are people that come from very rich traditions and You know, they're going to be at odds with any country that tries to water those traditions down in their eyes. There's a lot going into into this discussion that we're not going to be able to touch on because I'm not a sociologist. Hopefully Cali gets a break from the heat sometime soon. That'd be nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be scorching fucking hot all week. And probably the next week, too. I'm so ready for fall. Yeah, me too. I'm ready for anything but this, bro. Today is one of those days, bro. I'm just gonna bitch, okay? I've got a huge show I have to do today, and I need to be good on the show. Like, I need to be high energy and engaged. It's a big gauntlet, end of the month gauntlet. It's my last show before I go on break. Like, I've gotta knock it out of the park, but dude, I'm so fucking depressed. And I feel like it's 90% of it is just the way things are, like, weather-wise. I get so fucked up in the summer. I get angsty. I get sad. I get, like, really antisocial, where I just don't even want to fucking hear other people's bullshit. And, fuck, man. Just rough. It's like a fountain of negativity, you know? But at the very least, I'm used to it. I'm used to it on some level. And I know what it is, right? For me, it's the opposite. I get happy in the summer, real moody and depressed in the winter. That's the way it is for most people. Like, most people, seasonal affective disorder kicks in when the sun stops shining as much, when there's more rain and clouds and cold, snow, darkness. Those types of things are what trigger people's, like, typically trigger seasonal affective disorder. Mine, I'm one of the small minority of people who experience the inverse. I'm way happier in the winter when it's cool. Way better at dealing with my day-to-day mental problems when it's cool. I feel less of an impetus to sequester myself away from every other human being and just be angry and alone when it's cool. You know, I'm such an outdoor person. I feel trapped and confined when I sit indoors all day, but you really have no choice to a certain extent when you live in a climate like this. You know, I can't be out here when it's 112 degrees. You just can't. You'll die, you know. It'll straight up kill you to sit out here. I'm happy all the time. Can't relate. That's got to be great, man. That's got to be wonderful. Happy all the time. I don't believe it for a fucking second, but if it's true, good on you, buddy. It's been my sad but well-documented experience that the people that tell you that they're happiest are oftentimes the most twisted people. Twisted up in their own problems, twisted up in their own headspace. You live in a place that isn't a frozen hellscape in winter, so it's pretty fair. You'd be happier in winter. Yeah, it's like you know, cold, but not like turn right around and run back inside cold. You can bundle up and it's cool. It's good. But yeah, I'm just not feeling it today. But gotta smash one out of the park before I go on break. I'm just probably just gonna fucking sequester myself away from everything for a week. Just like put the phones on fucking read-only mode and just fucking. That's how I feel right now, but I'll probably end up doing the opposite. I'll probably end up streaming every fucking day. That's the Paul. That's the life of the Paul. A Tekken stream. Yeah, nah. Let's not do Tekken. Gauntlet is today, yeah. Starting in like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes. We will go live for the public for the first hour of the Gauntlet. Then we will go back behind the paywall to finish the Gauntlet. Trying to force myself into that conversational mode. Hello, little scrub Jay. You're so pretty. Are you dinosauring it up out here in the yard today? Little scrub Jay. Oh, yeah. You dinosauring it up. The T-Rex of the skies. You look like Macaulay Culkin's older brother. I don't even know what to do with that, player. Thanks. Fuck you. Both? Did you do the research? No. TJ was insistent that he was structuring this episode. He told me that he would ignore any suggestions that I had, so I made none. You gonna get him, Birdie? You guys gotta see this scrub jay. He is so pretty. Aw, he went away. Lame. Poor little scrub jay. Camera shy. Yeah, I'm getting the full Vosh immersion experience tonight as designed by TJ. I'm going to do my best to maintain a cool head and a positive attitude going into it. That's what I think the key is going to be. I can't burn out too early. I can't blow my fucking load too early. I've got to wait till the last hour and a half or so, and then if I feel like I want to unleash the beast, that's my goal tonight. Stay high. Stay funny. Keep it light. Keep it pithy. Okay? Keep it light. Keep it entertaining. Keep it upbeat. Keep it pithy. Keep your temper in check, Paul Zigo. Okay? Yep. A reapy doo ah, man. That's what I'm trying to fucking keep in mind, okay? When life gives you lemons, a reapy doo ah, okay? Oh, it's not about sides. I wouldn't care if I was the only lonely motherfucker in the universe yelling the shit I'm yelling at Vosh, and the entire world was against me. He is my mortal enemy. I have intellectually outpaced Vosh at this point, is what I feel. Whoop! I need to get that. Can somebody do that for me, dude? Would one of you guys be able to clip that and just send it to me on Discord so I could download that shit and put it on my board? I want a whoop button for tonight. I need it. And a horse. I can get the horse. I need whoop. I need that, dude. And I don't know how to get it. You'd think it would be out there, you know? Whoop. I need it. I need it on the soundboard tonight. My soundboard is going to be part of my defense mechanism, okay? But the horse, that's easy. I'll get the horse taken care of. I need whoop. Okay? Somebody please help. You can just like send me a friend request or something. I'll check them. DM it to me. I need whoop, just that. It's a tiny little clip, but that's all I need. I need it, okay? I'll pop into TJ's Discord before and I'll beg, okay? I need whoop. Okay? I need it. I will fail without whoop. Okay, I need it. I need it. Whoop. You look like my high school art teacher. He was great. Sup. Whoop. Do you think there were fat slaves? Fat slaves? Probably, yeah. I imagine so, yeah. Yeah, it's nope combined with whoa. It's whoop. I know they have the soundbite. There's a website with all their sound bites. Really? H3 has a soundbite anthology website for downloading? What did you just swipe into? Dude, I don't know. Bro, I don't know where you've landed, bro. I don't even know what I'm doing here, let alone what everybody's landing here for, you know? It's crazy. It's been insane in here. Deadpool and Wolverine. You like science fiction and fantasy? Yeah, I do. I do like science fiction and fantasy. Yes. Backyard fun country boy. Thank God I'm a country boy. Paul, I got the clip. Whoop! I found it. It's a little cut off. Well, it does because he cuts off. It's whoop. Like it just the stop plosive at the end is provided by the cut. It's very short. It's just whoop. It's like that. Whoop. Just only thinking about it now, but are you like the only guy that beefs with Vosh that is in proximity to him, or am I just high? No, a lot of people beef with Vosh. Yes. Where do I send? You can send me a link on Twitter. You can DM me. My DMs are open on Twitter at Paul Zigo. You could send me a DM on Reddit at Paul Zigo, or you could send me a DM on Discord at Paul Zigo. Pretty easy, right? Hey, Paul, just hit the gym. Thanks for keeping me entertained while I worked out. Discord mod, not anymore, dude. Dude, I had an epic Discord called Salt Rackus. Had a bunch of people. Was based around like voice chat. Had tons of people, right? And I told my mod team, I was like, dude, the instant that I get a whiff of mod related drama, I'm just gonna nuke this sub. You're gonna wake up one day and it'll be gone. And that's exactly what I did. Mod drama started to break out, and I was like, dude, I'm not a fucking kindergarten teacher, bro. I just nuked the whole thing. It was the best, bro. Yeah, that's cool, Brion. Thanks. I'll take care of it. I need to go anyway. It's getting too hot, and I'm sweaty, and I'm angry and angsty out here. Oh, maybe I don't need to go. I don't fucking know what to do, dude. Today's gonna be awful. Oh my god. No. No self-fulfilling prophecy, Paul's ego, okay? Today's just gonna be another show. And at the end of it, you're off for a week. Come on, Paul's ego. Come on. Come on, buddy. Would you mind telling me what the drama is about? I would if I could remember a fucking thing about it. I will tell you this much. It was bullshit, Reddit, Discord, interpersonal conflict that, you know, a gaggle of grown-ass adults ought to be able to fuck a handle. And that's that. Maybe your state's just that big. No, California is huge. Being in the same state as Vosh, which I don't even think I am anymore. I think Vosh lives in Washington now, if I'm not mistaken. But he was born and raised in California, and so was I. We were born and raised 5 hours apart. So it's a 5-hour drive from where I was born in Fresno, California, to where he was born in Beverly Hills, California. Los Angeles, California, I guess, technically. But California is massive. There are people that have lived here for fucking over 30 years of their lives, and they haven't seen a tenth of it. Like, people don't appreciate. If you want to drive the entire length of California, from the Mexican border to the northern border with Oregon, you're going to be on the road for 13 or 14 hours straight driving. Okay, that's how long California is. Yeah. San Diego to Eureka, that's going to be a 14-hour drive, buddy. 14 hours on California's wonderful freeway system. And that's straight driving. If you want to stop to poop or eat or rest your legs or something, you're going to add another hour or two. And if you hit bad traffic going through any of the major metro areas you're going to be cruising through on the way, add another couple hours to that. Now you're looking at 16 fucking hours on the road. Free round trip X2. Where are you going? Ireland. Let me tell you the little story about a man named Vosh. I've got to come up with a good one of that. And one day he was fapping on some porn, when up from the ground came some bubbling scorn. Enter that scorn, that is. Tell you a little story about a man named Vosh. He talks authoritative and he looks real posh. And one day he met Salty Paul. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I'm gonna go get the swatter. It's game on. I'm getting the electric paddle. It's game on. Next one of you motherfuckers lands on me, it's game on. I'm gonna zap every last fucking one of you. Everyone. Okay? I'm sick of shooing flies off of me, bro. I'm not a dairy cow, okay? Why don't you go fucking find something else? No. Vosh will be hearing horse jokes and lolly jokes for the rest of his career. You don't ever, like, and as well he should, because it was literally something that should have been completely avoidable. You know, you don't goon on your work PC. This has, like, been a standard rule since God was a boy, right? You got a work PC, you don't porn on it. Especially if you're rich, like Vosh. There's no, like, Vosh should have, like, a streaming PC and a general gaming PC. You know what I mean? Like, there's no excuse for him to not have two PCs or, like, a laptop for his gooning or whatever it is, right? The idea that, like, you're going to be a multi-platinum fucking streamer streaming your life every fucking second of every day, but also have just, like, a giant goon download folder filled with a bunch of shady shit. It's just, like, I don't even know... Like, I don't even know where that level of hubris comes from. It's so stupid. It's like, dude, if my computer were ever compromised or stolen or something, it would literally be the most boring computer anybody ever compromised. Like, they might find some passwords, maybe some financial documents saved here and there, but as far as, like, porn goes, it just ain't there. You can look. Watch the kind of guy who probably downloaded goon material on his family's computer. Oh, yeah. He probably hid a fucking secret folder on his family's computer, didn't know about the file tree, right? And just hid like a secret folder in deep in the recesses of 3 other folders or some shit. It's just like, man, as soon as you know a little bit about computers, you know how easy it is to find folders like that. There's no such thing as a secret folder, especially not on like a Windows 98 PC. And it literally seems like something that like a boomer would do. Search history? I use DuckDuckGo's browser. There's no such thing as search history. My browser, every time it closes, my browser wipes out all fucking localized records of what I visited. Not that there would be anything wild on there, but yeah. I don't get it either, dude. I've never been a big, like, so I kind of chalk it up to the fact that, like, porn is not my, I don't know, bro. This is kind of a weird thing to say, but, like, the best porn for me is all up here. Like, I was raised at a time when, you didn't have open, free access to porn. And so you kind of had to, like, use your imagination and stuff. And, when it's time to wrestle the porpoise, I prefer to just go that route. So I'm not a big porn guy, so I just kind of chalk it up to that. I'm like, well, if you were a big porn guy, you probably have a collection of porn, maybe. But then I talk to people who are way more into porn than I am, and they don't do that. So it's just like, I'm not... I don't get it. I've never gotten it. It's like, dude, when I was younger, like in my 20s, I did have a folder with some porn in it and shit. And I remember one day I suffer from anxiety disorder, and from an anxiety disorder. And one day I was just catastrophizing, right? And I had this vision in my head of me like having a heart attack and dying. And then people like digging through my computer and finding this like porn folder. And so I just literally deleted it. I deleted the whole folder, all my porn, which, I mean, it wasn't a giant folder, but I deleted my whole porn folder, and I never downloaded a piece of porn again. I think I was like 26 when that happened, maybe something like that. And I just never like actually put like a porn file picture or anything like that on my personal computer since then, or my phone. Like, I don't save that shit. It just doesn't make sense. The easy access to porn is probably a tool to destroy your mind and lower your testosterone. In my opinion, it's weird to see other people doing the action. I don't know about that. So you watch it online? When I do watch it, yeah, I'll just like go to Pornhub or whatever and, find whatever it is I'm looking for that day and, jerk off to that, I guess. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Don't act like you didn't have it. No, back in like, because it would have been 2006. There was no such thing as a terabyte. I mean, there was, but nobody had it. So no, man. I remember back in those days, like having a 1 or 2 gigabyte hard drive was like, woo, I got a big fat hard drive. Do you ever feel guilt? No. I don't attach guilt to like orgasms and stuff. Like every human being desires orgasm. I don't attach any guilt to mine. A lot of people do though. A lot of people are all wrapped up. They'll goon all day, and then at the end of it they just feel like trash. They're just like, man, I shouldn't have done that. I'm so weak. Why did I do that? And I'm just like, I mean, I'm no behaviorist or anything, but I did take a lot of classes on human psychology and shit, and I just understand that humans are psychosexual beings. Orgasms are a part of that. Masturbation is a part of that. What's to be ashamed of? Yeah, if you had an 8 gigabyte drive back in 06, bro, you were balling. That was a fat hard drive back then. I used to feel post-nut shame in my early 20s, but it's a short, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it comes from in some people. I guess maybe it's just like, if you were raised to think that like sex was gross, your body was gross, bodily functions are gross. A lot of people are raised with that type of shit. They got parents that were raised that way and they just pass that along. My parents weren't that way. Parents weren't like hypersexual beings or anything around kids, but like when we asked questions, they just straight up answered. They didn't, mince words or treat it like it was a taboo subject or anything like that. God is watching. Isn't that kind of weird? I made a video about it a long time ago. Like, God's always watching. It's like, so God's watching you soap up your balls in the shower? Why does he have to watch that? Why does he need to check that? Is God a fucking sick fuck? Is God a sick fucking voyeur? Watching, like, poop come out of your butthole? That's gross, man. God's like all up underneath the toilet, watching poop come out of your butthole. That's fucking weird, bro. Yeah, your loved ones, too. Yeah, I forgot about that. All the angels up in heaven be watching you, too? So, like, your great-grandma's watching a turd come out of your butthole? She's down in the toilet, like, that's good. That's good, Sonny Jim. It's like, what the fuck is this religion? So God doesn't even give you, like, one moment of privacy to soap your crack? He's all up in your butt cheeks, like... You know what I mean? And, like, that gives you comfort? Fuck, bro, that's odd. Dude, if I believed that, I'd have fucking... It's starting to make sense why religious people are so fucked up. Yeah, dude. God's just like boss nassing every time you spread your butt open. He's hold up, man, get in there. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't touch that. That's enough soap. There's enough soap on that. Don't put no more soap on that. No. No. And you're just like, can I get a minute here, you fucking weirdo? Spread them cheeks. Let me see. All right, watching you. Oh, I'm just filled with God's love. Like, what? Leave me the fuck alone, you weirdo. If we were made in God's image, does that mean God poops too? Yeah, and gets boners and stuff. We were made in God's image. God gets boners. God's got big old balls and probably a big old wiener, I'd imagine. I mean, I can't imagine it's a tiny wiener. You know what I mean? You calling anyone weird. Oh, the cope. Oh, the cope. We got a Christian in here who's feeling weird about their stupid fantasy. Okay. Sorry, guy. I'm just letting you know, like, what people outside of your religion think about when you guys are all like, oh, glory, glory. We're like, fuck, that's weird. These people are fucking strange, bro. Sorry. Just calling it like I sees it. It's got a big hairy cunt, too. Oh, man, cool. Yeah. Does that mean God, because we're made in his image, does that mean God gets, like, vinegary sour balls after a long, sweaty day? Does God have to, like, spritz his balls after a sweaty, long day's work where they're all confined up under that tunic? You know what I mean? Yeah, does God have to, like, roll his foreskin back and clean the dick cheese? Is that something God does? We're made in his image, so if our foreskin rolls back and has cheese in there, right, that we have to clean out, then his must have that, right? right? He's got a cheesy dick. He's got a stinky set of sweaty, hairy balls. He's got a dirty ass. God gets skid marks. Everybody gets a skid mark now and again. God gets skid marks in his toga. We're made in his image. Huh? What's that, Robbie? Are you coping? Are you in here coping? Yeah, dude. He got skid marks in his toga, bro. What the fuck, bro? It's like I didn't invoke this imagery. Christianity did. God made man in his image. Okay. So God's got acne. God's got sickle cell anemia. God must be fucked up, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? God must be toe up. Yeah. It's got irritable bowel syndrome. It's got Crohn's disease, you know? It's got bunions on his feet. They hurt. It's got a blown out knee from an injury when he was a kid. All that, man. All of it. God had some bad hemorrhoids. That's why he's so grouchy. Yeah, he's got the roids. Yeah, kidney stones, prostate problems. We're made in his image. How are we made in his image if our body is a stinky, filthy, cancer-rotted sewer, but his is perfect? That doesn't make any sense. And we're not made in his image. His image is perfect, right? But if it isn't, if we are made in his image, then what's the swamp status on them balls? I just want to know. I need a theologian. I need a theologian. Theologians, they don't know nothing about my soul. About my soul. I wish we had blowholes like dolphins. Me too, bro. That would be jamming. God damn, I wish I had a blowhole. Macaroni Obama, bro. That's a name right there. Yeah, does God ever like show up in heaven, right? And he's like, "Hello, my children. How is this wonderful day in heaven?" And then an angel is like, "Hey, God, you got a bug hanging." Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry about this, folks. Anyway, does that happen? Because if not, like, we're made in his image, so he has got a nose that doesn't make boogers. God eats it. He's like, anyway. Everybody's like, did he just eat a booger? He's God, shut up. Does God get bad breath if he doesn't brush? Yeah, I imagine he's got halitosis real bad. Like when he wakes up in the morning, he's like, "Oh, how are you, my children?" Oh, and you're like, "Oh, fuck. Oh, God, man, go hit the bathroom, bro, before you speak." Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. sorry. My bad. You know what I mean? You start to get into weird territory really quick when you take what Christianity says at face value, which Christians do most of the time. They'll hear something like, man was made in God's image, and it never occurs to them like, God's got balls? What are those like? God's got a dick? A butthole? What comes out of the butthole? Or does he not have a hole there? But if he doesn't have a hole there, does he have butt cheeks? If yes, why? You know what I mean? It's just like, that would be like, yeah, you think God ever gets itch ass? Everybody gets itch ass, right? Every once in a while, you didn't wipe quite as good as you thought you wiped, or whatever it is, right? You're like, ah, yes, all my children, a glorious day here in heaven. Oh, hold on. Oh, gotta get up. Oh, God, what did I do? Oh, I'll be right back. You know what I mean? Like, is that? You know what I mean? These questions need an answer, but I don't know that theologians have one yet. Cradle the balls. I mean, I can't imagine God has a small peepee. Yeah, maybe Lucifer was just trying to like get to a place where he didn't have to smell dirty farts all day. You know? You ever think of that? It's like, oh, God's closest attendant. God's like, oh, sorry about that. Oh my God, man, what did you eat? Oh, I had a torta and a bean burrito yesterday. Fuck, man, I could smell the torta still. Oh, I know, man. Those tortas go straight through you. Fuck, man, this is gross. Oh, sorry. That one was a little wet at the end there. Dude, you're fucking disgusting. What did you say? Sorry, God. No. Say what you said. I said you're fucking disgusting. What? Get the hints. All these questions need an answer, folks. We need to demand answers. I want to say I'm going to enjoy going back through your comments, trolling the super online users on my subreddit. Of course you are. Of course you are. It's fucking hilarious. Although I don't think I'm going to be able to abide by your new rule. Your new rule is kind of fucking gay, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. This like, oh, if I ask you a question, you must answer it, or else. Is like, what? I guess I'll just get used to just being like, IDK every time you ask me a question. So, no, I think I'm gonna chill out on your sub for a while. I'm gonna see how much engagement it has when I'm not there. I'm gonna see if you can actually turn it into a place where there's some interesting discussion. Admit you believe, Paul. Okay. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. You guys remember that? I love that scene in a Napoleon Dynamite where he's taking part in like the sign language thing. And they're like, some say love. And he's like, and then that bully kid is out in the audience and he's like, that movie is so fucking good, man. Holy shit. Some say love, it is a river that flows from you to me. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger. He's like, he's doing the bird. Oh my god, that movie is so fucking good, dude. And that dude's out there just like all sitting there, like all cocked back, like. Oh shit, man, that fucking movie has me dying and I haven't even seen it in 10 years. Yeah, this is how I prepare for the Vaudlet, bro. That movie's just so endlessly quotable and fun, too. It's just a good movie, man. I've seen the Blues Brothers, yes. Vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro. You ever take it off any sweet jumps? Hey, Napoleon. Give me some of your tots. Get your own tots, Bodega. These are mine. How much you want to bet I could throw this football over them mountains right there? Yeah. I love when... You guys remember when Uncle what's-his-name or whatever, the uncle guy that's stuck in high school? He's taking that picture and she's like, put your hand on your chin. Yeah, that's good. Soften your eyes. Tilt your head just a little bit this way. That picture she takes of him. He's like, I think these are going to come out really good. Yeah. Back in '82, I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile. They literally had it playing on the flight before you could pick movies. That was the in-flight. Dude, that's the best in-flight movie ever, bro. Dude, you scored. Dude, I remember one time. I usually don't do in-flight movies. I usually can't get into them. But I remember one time I was on a flight that had a little TV screen right in the headrest of the chair in front of me. And they were showing The Revenant. And I was like, oh, I'll check that out. And it got to the point where the bear was mauling him. And I was like, this is not the vibe I'm looking for on a flight today. I'm going to go ahead and just take a nap. How'd you describe the plot of that film? The movie's really about nothing. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's true. It doesn't have like an easily recapped plot. It's a really it's like what they would call a slice of life movie, right? It's like a movie that gives you a little peek into the life of these crazy characters for just a few days, and then it's over, right? It's basically about being in a Midwestern town. Yeah, kind of. Oh yeah, Napoleon he was cool for a minute, you know? He got to flex. You guys remember that when he got that job, like, uh, collecting chicken eggs? And there's that, like, weirdo guy with the speech impediment. He's like, I found me some Shoshone arrowheads down over there. And they're just, like, drinking, like, raw eggs in a cup. That movie is so good. Well, good job today, boys. Hope you don't mind I pays you in change. $1.80? It's like 15 cents an hour. The stream right under Paul is of a guy working out. Time to pump up the jams. Can't find my checkbook, so hope you don't mind as I pays you in change. Oh, man. You know what goes hard in the California heat? Jarritos, bro. I would kill a significant portion of the human population right now for an orange Jarritos. Ice cold. Right at that point where it's about to freeze. You know how many people I'd kill for an orange Jarritos right now? A lot of people, okay? How often do you take acid? Not often. It's been years. Acid is one of those things that just doesn't like show up on my doorstep all that often, but when it does, I pop it. Jarritos. Go to Robertito's. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get a Robertito's before for lunch before the show starts, because the show starts in like an hour and a half, bro. It's fucking crazy. So maybe I'll get Robertito's, or like, I don't know. We'll see what else there is. I love tamarind, but then again, the southeast U.S. floods. Yeah. Carmelo's, yeah. What's that burger place in Seattle? Like Butt Burger or something? You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a little burger shop in Seattle that does like shakes and fries and burgers, and it's super popular. I'm trying to remember the name of that. No, it's not Seattle Burger. Good try though. Yeah, there's this like little local kind of restaurant chain, and it's the main one is on the road up Capitol Hill. Carl's Jr. Yeah, that's it. Which is your favorite instrument of the string family, excluding the piano? Probably the 12-string guitar. Dude, somebody that can play a 12-string, that's like magic, bro. I've had Jamaica, yeah. Or Jamaica. I like a michelada on a hot day. I mean, I don't really like it actually. I'll sip one though. But I'm not a big michelada fan, man. Just give me a beer. Speaking of, dude, I could go get a cold ass beer. Maybe that'll help with the gauntlet. Should I get a cold ass beer? Or no? Is this a good thought or a bad thought? Okay, it's 11:30 on a Tuesday. AM. Should I get a beer? I think I am gonna get a beer. I think I am gonna have a nice bottle of suds. Only if you have good food lined up. I've got good food. We're good. Save it for the show. Well, por qué no dos? I could have one now, 2 now, and as many as I want on the show. Only with food. I don't want to eat though. I want to drink. All right, let's do it. Fuck it. Impulse honored. Hello. Oh, yes. Let's rearrange this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice. Cheers to you. This was a good idea. This was not a bad idea. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any negatives. If I wasn't on my way to work, I would drink one with you. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be responsible. I mean, I'm technically on my way to work too, but I work from home, so I can get as sloppy as I want, you know. Although it would take like 10 of these to get me sloppy. I don't think we're gonna have 10 of them. Paul, what animals do you think should absolutely not be pets? I mean, there's a lot of them, right? Like big birds, condors, eagles, those sorts of things. Probably small birds too. I hate it when people have birds as pets. So birds, I really do. Like taking something that has the freedom to fly wherever it wants and confining it to a cage for its entire life is just fucking cruel. Certain kind of like reptilians, like alligators, crocodiles. In fact, I think 99% of people are not prepared to handle a large reptile. of any kind of size. Like when I was growing up, I had an iguana who was 9 feet long from nose to tail. He was huge. And only because my family was dedicated to keeping him safe and happy and well fed and well housed did he thrive. He would have died of neglect in any other house, and that's just horrible, you know. So, like an iguana, not for 99% of people. Large reptiles in general are really tough to take care of. People don't understand this. They'll get them and then they end up flushing them down the toilet or letting them waste away and die or dumping them on some fucking rescue organization that doesn't know what to do with them, and they end up getting put down. Yeah, dude, it's beer 30 somewhere. Um, Exotic animals, big cats, shouldn't be caged, shouldn't be bred, shouldn't be pets, shouldn't be made just for the spectacle of having them in a cage. That's just retarded to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, you know, we're working our way down the line, right? To be honest with you, I think, and maybe I'm a little pessimistic about this, I think about 50% of humanity, at the very least here in North America, shouldn't have pets, period. They're not responsible enough. They're not attentive enough. They shouldn't have a dog. Like, that's just how I feel about probably about half of the people that have animals in this country shouldn't. Yeah. Parrots are incredibly intelligent animals. They require interaction, they require stimulation, they require constant cleaning of their cage, they require constant facilitation of their health. And constant interaction and good positive interactions with them have to be constant in order to have a bird that is not a nightmare to have in your house. And most people are not going to go through that. My aunt and uncle had an African gray parrot named Ziggy, and he was awesome. He was awesome, but it was only because they spent hours every day talking to Ziggy, spending time with Ziggy, taking care of Ziggy, cleaning up for Ziggy, preparing diverse meals for Ziggy. Ziggy was a really thriving bird, but that's not most parrots. If you go to most people that have a parrot, the parrot is completely and utterly depressed. It's acting out all day. It's plucking its own feathers out. It screeches all day. It doesn't like the people that live around it because it blames them for its incarceration. Like parrot is the only animal that's ever asked what do they call that? Like an introspective question. There was an African gray parrot that asked, "Why am I gray?" I think, right? Why am I gray? That's like an existential question that animals shouldn't really have a concept of, but lol, my bird Iggy. You have an Iggy? Wow, that's crazy, dude. You have a parrot named Iggy, Ziggy. Yeah, is less than half the size of a gray, and he requires so much work. Can't imagine a gray, yeah. No, Ziggy was huge, man. And he cussed, too. He was great. They taught him a few, like, cuss phrases, and he loved to use them. Yeah, they named him after Ziggy Stardust. Yeah, but it was a bird that had been trained in language, right? And it was trained to ask questions like, "Where is ball?" Right? So it understood the interrogative process. And it asked, "Why am I gray?" And that's just like what do you mean? That's a totally introspective, existential human question to ask. And so it may very well be that parrots, large birds, are some of the smartest animals on the planet. Fucking flies, man. These goddamn buzzing ass fucking flies. Hey, baby. How are you?
Okay. What are you doing? You're already beering it up?
Oh, yeah. Prepared for the gauntlet. Oh, shit, baby. I smoked the last fucking one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Crows are second only to human. Yeah, crows will do some wild shit, bro. Crows will take nuts and use cars to crack them. Like, crows will take a pile, like, gather up walnuts and put them all over a road. And then cars drive over the walnuts, crush open the nut, and then the crow comes and eats it. Crows can figure out, like, crazy puzzles, like, crazy, like, logic puzzles, where they have to do something that's really unintuitive in order to get a snack. Crows are known to hold grudges. Like, if you're mean to a crow, it'll remember you for the rest of your life, and it might even fuck with you for it. If you're kind to a crow, that crow will, like, come back to you during your life and bring you little trinkets and shit. So, like, crows have, like, an ego. They have a sense of, like, fairness and right and wrong. And when you violate that against them, they never forget it. They'll remember that you're an unfair piece of fucking garbage. Now, some of these traits are observable in primates. Primates will also learn fairness. Primates also have a general idea of a self, as far as we can tell. But what they don't have is the existential crisis that comes with a self-aware self. With a self-aware mind is almost an immediate existential crisis. It's like the African gray parrot asking, "Why am I gray?" It's like, well, you know. So we don't really see signs of that kind of, like, deeper awareness in apes and primates, but we see signs of a lower functioning self-awareness in apes and primates. But parrots, crows, large birds in general, but mostly like certain types of large birds, display things that would be considered to be way more like close to human intelligence, or close to human understanding of the self and how it interacts with other things. So a parrot can lie, for example. Like, a parrot knows what the difference between the truth and a lie is, and a parrot can strategically lie. So can a crow, right? This is not really something that we see in other animals. Like, if we study a primate and we get it to where it can communicate in a rudimentary way, like Coco, the gorilla. Which, by the way, a lot of that was just learned behavior and not actual communication. If you actually look at Coco, the things that Coco said were very much interpreted through a human. And so we put a lot of anthropomorphized thought on Coco, I think. But yeah, we've never had a gorilla, right, that could communicate a little bit, go like, "Hey, did you take a banana?" And he goes, "No," but he's got the banana behind his back. You know what I mean? A crow will do that. A parrot understands deception, which means that it has a fundamental understanding of truth and falsehood, which means that it may have a rudimentary understanding of personhood and the self, which makes them, like, not that far from us.
Well, if you think about it, they're dinosaurs. They had a ton of time. They were the dominant species. Dinosaurs were for a long ass time.
Yeah.
And birds are just dinosaurs.
And that's the thing too, is like dinosaurs. I bet certain dinosaurs, I mean, obviously, like Jurassic Park took this to the nth degree. I don't know how smart they really were, but I think that there were dinosaurs that were incredibly intelligent. Well, you take something like a crow.
Yeah.
They've only got certain capacity for brain matter.
Yeah.
And exactly, you got a skull that's 10 times the size of the crow, and a brain is going to be able to be larger inside of that, more complex. So I bet there were some crazy intelligent dinosaurs. I bet they had rudimentary language and shit. Maybe not like a whole like lexicon, but I bet they communicated complex ideas to one another and shit. Hunting and self-preservation and, you know what I mean? Clever girl. The raptors that survived the meteor, so like Compsognathanosaurus or whatever, compies, these tiny little things that if you put wings on them and chop the tail off, they'd be a bird. But they're little scurrying two-legged raptor-style dinosaurs. They were oviraptors, egg eaters. They would find eggs from other dinosaurs, snatch them, and eat the yolk. And yeah, those littler dinosaurs, those smaller forms, survived the Chicxulub meteor strike and the ensuing, 100 years of darkness and decay.
Basically everything tiny that could scurry away into like a cave and stuff.
Right. Or could get by scavenging.
Yeah.
Or get by parasitically from another animal. Those are the animals that survived. The ones that like were in a kind of like competitive symbiosis or so tiny that they could eat pretty much anything. Yeah.
Did you have your medicine?
Yeah. I took all my meds and everything. I'm good. I had a cup of coffee too already. But...
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Bowerbirds are cool. They make art as a mating display. Yeah. I love this topic started, animals and pets, etc. I mean, it's just interesting to me, the kind of like interplay between human and animal has always been way deeper than I think people give it credit for. I think there are a lot of people, and maybe that's a utilitarian thing, that just look at animals as beasts. That's a beast of burden. That's a beast of, predation. That's a beast. That's a fodder beast. I look at us as part of a fucking intricately woven and very, very fragile chain of life. And we're all cousins here. Even the fly that's pissing me off is a cousin of mine. And when you start thinking of not just life, but things in general as a continuum rather than black and white, it can really be like liberating for a person. Dogs are the only animal that'll understand a human pointing. If you point at an ape, you try and go, hey, there's a banana over there. The ape will just look at you like, what? That's not how they communicate things to one another. They don't use that hand gesture. So no other animal really reacts to it unless they're specifically trained to, obviously. But a dog that has very limited interaction with a human being will look where you're pointing. It'll follow your finger and your eyes to another object. It's the only animal we know of that does that. That understands the intentionality behind pointing at something. Isn't that crazy? Cats can be specifically trained to display a lot of behaviors, but in general, cats are not going to know what the fuck you're doing if you point at something. Yeah, cats will just look at your hand, look at your finger like, oh, are you going to poke me with that? They're just like, apes do the same thing. Even, chimps and bonobos, like the closest cousins that we have in the animal world. You take a chimp sitting there and you put a banana behind it, off to the side, and you try and go like, hey, dude, there's a banana over there. Chimp will just go like, they don't get it. just not part of their fucking history to understand those things. I reckon it's probably been longer than 10,000 years, but you're right. I think it's been more like 20 or 30,000 years that human beings have domesticated wolves and stuff like that. I think it's probably way longer, but yeah, their evolutionary history is tied with ours, and so the bond between man and dog is not just in our minds, it's real. Dogs think about humans in different ways at birth. They're more tolerant of human interaction from birth because they've been selectively bred for human loyalty and human interaction. Crazy, right? Super crazy. Might take that as a sign of aggression. Don't lose your nuts trying to point. Yeah. Do you think that humanity continues to co-evolve with dogs? Will dogs eventually become intelligent and self-aware? So isn't there a Marvel dog that like speaks? He's like a golden retriever with a spacesuit on. Astro, right? Isn't that his name? Astro the dog or whatever, and he's like, he speaks. Yeah, I don't know, man. I doubt it. There'd be no incentive for dogs to get smarter. We're not really asking them to be smarter. Dude, the beer is hella good. I'm gonna go have another one after I finish this one, bro. There's an orangutan that drives a golf cart. Have you guys seen him? He's owned by some people, I think in Indonesia or something. They live in like a gated community, has a little golf course on it. And his favorite thing to do is get in his owner's golf cart. And he'll fucking literally just like kick back with one hand on the wheel and drive the golf cart around on the road. He just chills, man. He's just fucking chill as fuck. He'll pick you up, take you on a little spin. Yep. That's the power of instinct, James Martin. So instinctual behaviors are often inbred into animals. So if I'm right, and dogs and humans have been interacting for 20 or 30,000 years, the selective pressure that we put on those animals to do certain things is incredibly strong instinctually. There's like an instinct to you. There's a test they do. So a kid, and this is kind of mean, so you shouldn't do it unless you explain to them what you're going to do. If you take a little kid, like a toddler, let's say like a 1-year-old that's, you know, walking, but only just, and you put your finger on their forehead like this and push them back, push their head back a little bit, like forcefully enough to make them like, to make their head go back, their arms will go up like this, right? And that's because babies have an instinct inbred in them to try and blunt a fall using their shoulder blades and arms as a cushion. Protect their very soft head, right? So if you take a little 1-year-old kid and you push their head back like that, they'll go like that, right? And then once they reach around 3 or 4, when you do it, they start acting like a normal human. They'll reach their arm back to catch themselves from falling. It's crazy, right? You can look it up. It's nuts. They've shown, there are videos of them, you know, doing the test on a kid. It's actually a cognitive test that they'll do on a kid with developmental difficulties to diagnose developmental lag in a child. They will do that test. They'll take their fingers, push his little head back, and if he's like 4 years old, but his arms are still going up, you know that he's lagging intellectually and developmentally. Isn't that crazy? It's such a weird little factoid. I've seen a chimpanzee work as a bartender. Yeah. I mean, they can do, dude, chimps can do anything. It's crazy. They could probably drive like bulldozers and shit if we trained them right. I don't know that I trust one to do it, but I bet he could be trained to do it. Cricket's so skitty. Such a skitter scat. Ooh. Coco the gorilla was not fake. Coco the gorilla was overstated. I think 50-50, right? 50% on the trainers who allowed their bias to think Coco was getting more than she was getting, language-wise. 50% on the bias of just general low information people who've heard about Coco. Right? Coco could communicate, but her handlers and trainers had a very, very, very compromised and biased way of interpreting her responses because they really believed that they were communicating on a deeper level. So that's what happened with Coco the gorilla. And that's it. Paul, have you played any trading card games? Yes. I used to play Magic the Gathering in the 90s. I started playing Magic in 96. And it was a totally different game. Like, I've played Magic since, like, the modern times or whatever, modern Magic. And it's a totally different game. All these pre-made decks, all these, like, everybody's got sleeves on their cards. That's weird, you know, because me and my friends used to just shuffle them like a deck of cards and use them out. So Magic, when I played it back in 96, before net decking was easy, you know, like you could kind of what they call net decking, like look up a deck and not build one yourself. But everybody I played with, myself included, had a limited budget for Magic, so we couldn't afford to have all the best cards and the best deck. So you had to kind of make do with what you had. And I loved playing Magic during that era because you never knew what kind of deck your friends were going to throw together to try and stymie you. You know, there was a lot of creativity and there wasn't like these like best practices. Because like now with Magic, if you're trying to build your own deck, good luck getting a dub. Because people will just net deck some insane combo deck that is unbeatable on turn 3 or some shit every time. It auto wins turn 3. And if you're just trying to build a cool deck with cool creatures and a couple spells in it, you're never going to win. So the game is functionally dead for me as far as interest goes. Because you can't convince people like, hey, let's make shitty decks and play. Let's try and make decks on our own. But see, a lot of people are so into Magic that the knowledge that they have of card interactions and combos and this and that taints it's like they've got a library of net deck in their head. So you just can't find a good game anymore. You know? Like, I had what I understand now to be some crazy cards back in the day. Crazy fucking cards. I had a Wheel of Fortune that I got out of a starter deck that I bought. Wheel of Fortune lets you discard your entire hand. I can't remember what it does. I think it lets you draw a full hand. It makes everybody discard their hand and draw a full hand or some shit. It's fucking crazy card. It's like banned, I think, in tournament play now. I had a couple of demonic tutors, which I think are also either limited to one or completely banned in tournament play now. These allowed me to build some really cool, versatile decks that just weren't like optimized, you know? Like playing a deck, like I used to build decks like this for Magic. Instead of thinking like, what card combinations and color combinations would make the most efficient control deck? I'd be like, bro, I love these Sin Gear vampires, man, and I really want to make them work. I want to get a couple Sin Gears out on the board and just be chunking somebody, man. How do I do that? Okay, let me throw in some Hymn to Turok. Let me throw in a couple dark rituals so that I can get chunks of mana quickly and easily, right? Let me throw in a couple of Bad Moons so that all of my black creatures get 1/1, and then that synergizes with my vampire's ability that when they take damage and kill another creature, they get 1/1 permanently. Then let me throw a Baron Sin Gear that just came out in there. Just came out in the Ice Age expansion at that time. Baron Sin Gear gives all vampires 1/1. So now I've got all of this synergy built around getting me through the early game with some thralls so that I can block out and sacrifice block. And then my mid to end game is how many fucking flying 4/4 vampires can I get in this dude's face? And how buffed can I make them? So if I've got Baron Sin Gear out, I've got one Bad Moon out, that 4/4 vampire that I just played for 6 mana is now a 5/5 or a 5/6/6 flying. Every time it does damage, it gains 1/1. So that was my thought process back in the day when it came to Magic deck building. What do I got? What do I like? There was another deck that I built. So I had 4 Hypnotic Specters. I traded for them. I got 1 or 2 on my own through packs. I wanted 4 because I wanted to run a deck where my opponent just didn't have a hand. So I built a hand destruction deck. I had Hymn to Turok, which forced a player to discard two cards at random. I had a bunch of Hypnotic Specters in the deck, which if they hit an opponent, they're 2/2 flyers, that if they do damage to an opponent, they have to discard a card at random from their deck. I had a couple of different spells that caused them to either take damage or discard cards, right? I think I used the rack as a supplement, so when they did discard, they took 2 damage every time they discarded a card. And that deck was just like hated amongst my friends because it was so good. But that deck right now wouldn't last 2 rounds. That's a cool deck. Yep. I used to try and build like wacky decks. Like I had one that I tried to make work, but I was never able to get it to work, which was a colorless deck. All artifact creatures deck. So Soul Rings for the mana, Ezra lands for the colorless mana generation, and if I could get one of each out, I get bonus colorless mana. And then small, medium, and huge artifact creatures, and that was it. And it just wouldn't work. You know, it was just slow. The deck was slow. It required too many like combos and too many things to fall into place for it to ever be successful. But I still loved playing that deck. It was a fat deck too. I remember it had like 70 cards in it. But it never won. Another deck that was fun back in the day that every one of my friends dabbled with was the blue denial deck. So blue back in the 90s, I'm sure now still, had the most like counterspell type of thing. So your opponent's turn, right? They're trying to play a big creature. No, you aren't. Counterspell. Right? Or it's your turn and the opponent's trying to counter something of yours. No, you didn't. I'm going to counter your counter, right? It was one of those types of decks. A couple big creatures in there, deny everything that your opponent tries to do until the late mid game, and then you've got a big fucking creature they have to deal with, and then you got 2 big creatures they have to deal with, and you're still got a handful of, creature denial, creature removal. right? That was such an annoying deck, and I guess it was meta amongst my friends, but that deck wouldn't last fucking, like I said, it wouldn't last 2 rounds against an undead deck. So, I mean, that's something you had to learn back in the day. If you were playing against somebody and they had 2 blue mana untapped, you couldn't really assume you were going to get away with anything. So you tried to bait out the counter spell. Let me play a smaller creature, a lesser. Let me take a tempo turn where I throw out something that I'm willing to sacrifice and hope they burn their counter spell, right? Like, there's a lot of strategy involved in it, but it was still like everybody doing it off their brain, you know? There was no internet website yet to run to that would tell you exactly how to build the best Magic deck in the world. Have you seen the TV show Moonshiners? No. See, these have you seen questions are usually really terrible. Because if the answer is no, then the whole paragraph was a waste. And it usually is no. I bought Tekken 8 yesterday. I'm horrible. How do I get better? Practice makes perfect, dog. What I would recommend is, first, go into training mode with every character and just button mash and see which character you like. Like, discover what they can do, button mash a little bit, see what they're capable of, and go like, oh shit, I really like this character. Find that character first. Then, just start playing people. You'll learn how to block low, block high, block mid, what's punishable, what isn't. I don't make any physical art right now, no. I have in the past done physical art. I guess physical art being theater. Theater is my art form. So I'm a theater performer. I've been in dozens of plays, and it's my true passion, being on stage. You know what to do, Johnny Fronto. Okay, I'll try that. Eddie Gordo, my favorite ATM. Yeah. He's a good pick, man, but you got to be wary with Eddie because Eddie's a great button mash character because he has crazy, unpredictable moves and stuff. But once you've learned the fundamentals of the game, button mashing on Eddie ain't going to do it. There are better button masher characters, honestly, if you want to button mash, than Eddie Gordo. Once people learn how to fucking play a little bit and how to play defense and how to use the comeback mechanics and stuff, Eddie falls off as a button masher character, but no, I haven't played any tabletop RPGs except for when I ran Dank Dungeons and Drunken Dragons on a homebrew like Pathfinder system, and I DM'd, but that's the only time I've done tabletop, was in furtherance of learning how to do that or doing it. So I played a couple of like scratch games or one-offs to learn how to DM and to learn how the game worked. I had Stevie do a one-off where I learned how that worked, and are there any plays or stage shows you've always wanted a chance to do, Sweeney? Sweeney Todd, me and my friend Morgan tried so desperately to get our school. Our vice principal was kind of like a theater dork, and we lobbied him super hard to let us do Sweeney Todd. And he just couldn't get over some of like the sexual, because like there's a part, like we were dedicated like, hey look, we didn't truncate Grease, and Grease talks about how they want to dick down all the time. You know what I mean? Like that whole show is about teenagers wanting to fuck each other, basically. So like we were able to do that show, but we can't do this crazy show about a barber that kills people. Why? And he would point out the violence, and he would point out the sexual imagery, like, how would you like to split me off, dear? Give a little jig, a little beat around the bush, right? There's an old woman that is a prostitute that comes throughout the show and all of that. And then the actual, like, imagery of Sweeney cutting throats and blah, 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 blah. We just couldn't get them to allow us to make the show. No college level production is trying to do Sweeney Todd. And so I just have never gotten to do it, you know. Who'd you cast yourself as in Sweeney Todd? Beetle Bamford, probably. So if you're an actor, like a stage actor, you kind of know your place, right? I am a comedic actor, and when I'm not cast as a comedic actor, I am cast as a strong supporting role. So I've played villains, I've played good guys, I've played funny guys, I've played sad guys, I've played big guys, I've played small guys, played it all. But ultimately, my home base as a performer is comedy and character acting. So I'm very, very good at being a strong supporting character. Not horrible at being a lead character, but not the guy you're always going to choose. No, I never actually went through with it. There was a show that we revolted against one time. We had done Grease the year before, and our teacher presented us with this show called Cast Adrift or something. It was some fucking lame show. It was horrible. It's a show about a bunch of like lame ass people on a cruise ship that gets stranded or some shit. It was fucked. It's like a shitty comedy. And we confronted her and we were like, we don't want to do this show. This show sucks. Can we do anything else? She got really mad. She was like, guys, I can't afford to do anything else. You understand that when we do big name shows, I have a budget. I have to pay for the right for us to put on Grease. I have to pay for the right for us to put on, you know, Our Town. I have to pay for that right. This script doesn't cost us shit. And we were like, we're not going to do it. It sucks. It's going to suck. And so she was like, well, you guys are going to have to pick something that doesn't cost me money then. And we were like, let's do Shakespeare. So we did. That year we didn't have a musical. We did 12th Night or As You Like It in its entirety. And that was cool. You know what I mean? That was really neat. And we won a bunch of competitions with scenes from it as a result. How does character acting differ from a regular role? Character acting is like when you... So, okay, let's say I was acting, right? And I was like Jason Statham, right? Where if you watch Jason Statham, he basically plays himself in every movie. And it works. Same thing with like Sly Stallone, right? He plays he's Sly Stallone in every... Schwarzenegger is Schwarzenegger in every movie. A character actor is going to be somebody that's not a headliner, and they're known for putting on makeup, changing their cadence, changing their accent, changing their demeanor, and truly embodying somebody who is oftentimes diametrically different from themselves. So that's a character actor, right? And that's my strength. The wilder the character, the more I embrace it. And the more dedicated I become to portraying it in a way that's relatable. Not comparing myself to them, but yes, Daniel Day-Lewis, Philip Seymour Hoffman, those are Paul Giamatti. Those are examples of character actors. Not saying I'm anywhere near as talented as them, I'm just saying. Those are people known as character actors and not just general movie leads. Not all biographical roles are inherently that. Some people have a natural demeanor that's very close to someone else that's famous, right? And so they don't have to do much. But yes, biographical roles tend to be that. Philip Seymour Hoffman is my favorite character actor of all time. And when he died, I was genuinely devastated. Losing him to heroin was fucked. That guy would still be making brilliant films. But he was just broken, just mentally broken. And it sucks to lose somebody when they're at the peak of their career and you know they've got at least 30 years probably of amazing films. And they just, you know. But PSH has always been my favorite character actor. I've looked up to him since I was very young. And I still do. I still do. Not necessarily how he went out, but how he inhabited the skin of a character and allowed himself to be incredibly vulnerable in doing so. Gandolfini is a fantastic character actor, yes. There's a number of them, right? There's a number of people who, if you think about it, they're known for their strong, dissident characters, not for being the same guy in every movie, right? They're known for strong, passionate character portrayal. What's your stance on method acting? So I'm actually trained in the Stanislavski method. Method actors, as they're referred to, tend to take Stanislavski a little literally. They're like biblical literalists. The Stanislavski method is about rehearsal and practice and the dedication to dying to yourself and inhabiting the skin of another character. Part of the Stanislavski method does recommend that you remain in character outside of rehearsal time, but it never details that you have to be that character 24/7 while the show is going on. People have kind of taken Stanislavski and ran with it. But it's a very good method to inhabit the skin of another character. So I'm trained in Stanislavski from a very young age. My mentor, if you would call her that, was a Stanislavski actress. And that's kind of what she taught. And then I got some really, really specific instruction when I was 16. I got to go to CalArts in Valencia and get like college level theater training, and Stanislavski was one of my classes. What is your opinion on the Hollywood industry? Is it a dirty business? Oh, fuck yeah, it's horrible, right? I mean, do I even need to point it out? Do I need to give you the litany? I don't think I do. Excuse me, man, this beer is going to me. I ain't got much time left either. Show starts in 45 minutes, 44 minutes now. Is Alec Baldwin guilty for the Rush shooting? Yes. Alec Baldwin was not only an actor who was improperly handling a firearm that should never have had its barrel cross paths with another human being, even if it was loaded with blanks, but he was also the producer on the film, so ultimately responsible for hiring the unqualified arms master on the film that allowed real bullets to be loaded into prop guns and fired out on the property, and then blah, blah, blah. So, like, yes, the buck has to stop somewhere, and on a movie set, the buck stops with the producer. The producer has the final say on everything. He was also the director. So there is nowhere else to pass the buck other than the arms master and the person that hired the arms master. That's it. The buck stops there. And unfortunately, the buck is for Alec Baldwin there. No, we haven't dropped the Voosh gauntlet. But that is today. In 45 minutes, I will be facing my nemesis for 6 straight hours. I don't know what TJ has in store, but I guarantee you it's going to be putrid and horrifying, okay? It's going to be terrible. For me. Wonderful for you. But, yeah, that'll be coming up soon. So, I'll be ending this. I'll be going in there, maybe changing out of this sweaty shirt, take a shower real quick, give my undercarriage a bit of a how's your father, and then bada bing, bada boom, it's 6 hours of shit. The first hour of which is publicly available on the Deep Fat Fried channel. We'll be live for an hour for the plebs, as we call them, the plebeians, the non-Patreon subscribers. And then the final 5 hours will be behind the ever-growing paywall of doom. And if you want to join that, there's actually a week long free trial that you can sign up for. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So you can watch it for free today. All you have to do is go to the Patreon linked down below in the description. Click it. Fill out your, create your account on Patreon and all that shit. Fill out all the things. And bada bang, you got a week free of Pessimist Productions content. So you can decide if it's worth your $7. And if it is, you can stay on. And if it's not, you can cancel anytime during the week. That's a fucking steal of a deal. And I'm telling you, if you're gonna jump on that fucking opportunity, if you've been hesitant to do it, I have a feeling this is gonna be the gauntlet you're gonna want to do it on. I'm just letting you know. I have a deep, abiding, some would say unhinged hatred for Vosh.
The VDS.
I've got VDS super fucking bad. Okay, I've got Vosh derangement syndrome. Okay, I'm diagnosed. I've got one of the worst cases in history. And when I'm exposed to his smug rich boy bullshit, it's like I'm looking at my anathema. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the I'm looking at, I don't want to say that because people take it the wrong way. It's a comic book term, nega, like negative, nega-Paul, right? So it's bound to be fucking wild. I don't know how wild.
Well, you've
Look,
already been drinking.
that's my thing. I'm armoring myself against TJ right now. Right? I know that TJ has concocted a sinister witch's brew of Vosh bullshit. Okay? And I'm going to be swimming in the putridity of it for at least 6 hours today. I have to be high. I have to have a little buzz on. I'm gonna be mellow. I will beat him. I'll beat Vosh and I'll beat TJ all tonight. This will be a test of my testicular fortitude. Can I hold back the rage for long enough? Eventually it's got to come out, but can I hold my powder until the last couple hours so that I don't run out of steam super early? Okay? That's the question. That's why it's a gauntlet.
Because, yeah, if you blow it early, then you're just going to be dead inside for the rest of it.
I got to tell you this, though. It maybe not the next gauntlet, but one of these upcoming gauntlets has got to be something that just fucking tortures TJ.
Yeah.
Just TJ. Because this is going to be a fucking cakewalk for Scotty and TJ.
Mm-hmm.
And Scotty, you know what? He doesn't usually the one to put me in these types of situations. So I give him a pass. But you know what, TJ? Depending on how diabolical this episode is, and I have a feeling it's going to be diabolical as fuck, TJ is due for a gauntlet that he hates. So we got to think of something that TJ despises. He can't stand it. It bores him. That's the best way to get to TJ, by the way, is to bore him. So we got to find something that he finds boring and banal, but that we can tolerate. That's the tough fucking thing.
Yeah.
The Gurgi gauntlet. There's not enough Gurgi stuff for a gauntlet. Well, we did a spider episode, but we didn't do a spider gauntlet.
Might be interesting. It'd be like the most DFF gauntlet ever. Because he'd go into all sorts of facts. He'd find the most disturbing shit ever.
Yeah, but see, that would disturb me too.
Yeah.
The goal of this, in my mind, is to find something that TJ hates, but I can tolerate for 6 hours. So I can just put it in cruise control, throw that shit in neutral, let it coast downhill while TJ fucking rages. But I gotta pick the right thing, the exact right thing. We can't really do a Lord of the Rings gauntlet. Can't really do that. Should we have like a TJ Critics gauntlet? Where it's like we force him to like react to people.
The nobodies.
Yeah, the nobodies that have pwned him over the years. We just have like an endless slew and and he has to sit there. That's the one. That's the one. That's the one. The TJ Critic gauntlet. That's the one. We nailed it. It's perfect. Because TJ hates nothing more than banal criticism from nobodies. And so we just gather up all of the anti-TJ videos from all of these years on YouTube, and we force him to answer the allegations. That's the one. I'm going to pitch it to him here in like half an hour. I'm going to tell him that it's brewing. The TJ Critic Gauntlet. Can he survive the criticism? Unhinged. I want to try and find some channels that have like 5 views. You know what I mean? 5 views on the video, and force him to own up. It's on. That's perfect. That idea is perfect. I don't need to ruminate on it anymore. It is fucking perfect as is. And it would just be hard. I'm going to have to curate it. I'm going to have to find the most annoying, shitty criticisms of TJ. And then Scotty and I are just going to kayfabe that we agree with every one of them. Yeah. The whole, it's going to be, we're going to be in cruise control, and TJ's going to be fucking tea kettling. Yes! Okay, it's time for me to go. Go click the link down below to become a patron. Check out Deep Fat Fried for the first hour of the gauntlet if you don't want to do that. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Have a good one. Fuck you.